people at the top, you are inverted. I'm responsible for everyone above me.
And the board has a lot of responsibility in that also.
And the board.
Because they're the ones that sometimes stick in other things along the way to make room for what they think should happen, and they usually go to the big pool to save the money. They go to our employees because it is such a big pool, and we cannot go to that pool.
I agree with you, 100%. I've lost track as to who's next. Sir?
I've read the science report, and to build on your question, which is and your statement, which is very good, the most bothersome thing in that whole report was the threat and the intimidation of our teachers. And the stories of our teachers going home in tears. I had a sleepless night because I could not believe that. Are you prepared, and I ask you sincerely this question, are you prepared to stop these board members from interfering and intimidating our teachers and our staff and our students?
Absolutely. Yes. There is no excuse.
Stop the board members.
Or anyone else from intimidating not just teachers, but bus drivers, cafeteria workers, anyone. The way the school, and some people say, why don't you fire all the school board members? Well, you know, they elected. But the way the school district works is that they can have no interference in the administrative activities of a school district. That's what got us in trouble. Their issues, their complaints, their concern has to be communicated through the superintendent, and then the superintendent responds by working with individuals down through the food chain. That was not happening, and as you stated in the SAC report, it was very clear that became one of the three critical issues that resulted us being on probation. I will do everything in my power to ensure that that does not occur, and if it occurs, I will move swiftly to correct it. Yes, ma'am.
So we've talked a lot about the board, and the SAC report talked a lot about the board, and I think we can all agree that we've watched over the years the money being sucked out of the classroom and then gone into the central office, where I have to be honest, I feel like there's a real lack of accountability for how that money is spent. I watch those board meetings where we talk about, where the money went and why we underestimated the power bills and all of that. My husband's a controller in his company. If he were to report numbers like that, he'd be fired in a minute. And what I'm asking you is, what can we expect from you as far as cleaning house in the central office, or at least getting salaries in line, making sure people are held accountable to the policies that you create, not just creating policies? Can you answer that?
First, I want to share with you that during the last round of budget cuts, we cut, based on what I've been able to understand, over 600 jobs in the central office.
Were they rehired?
Not since I've been there, they have not been rehired. Because the way I understand it, we lost about $100 million. It's a lot of money that's been lost. But back to your point, you have to have a strong team with clear levels of accountability. I can't speak as to why people did what they did. I have to create a culture of respect from senior managers all the way through the food chain. It's really an issue of governance. That's why I talk, and people say, why do you always say that? You have to respect the lowest person on the totem pole. If you are disrespecting the lowest person on the totem pole, guess what? That infects the entire organization. It's easy to respect the superintendent when he shows up at the school, everybody. Someone once asked me, one of my workers said, well, what's the level of customer service? How much should we respect the people who walk through the door? You treat every person as if he or she is the superintendent. Right? That's the expectation. I'm old school. I grew up in the country. I'm sorry. That's just the way I was raised. This has nothing to do with governmental administration. This is how my mother and my father raised me. You respect other people, and often, 99 times out of 100, they will what? Respect you. And we're going to have an organization, a district that respects individuals. Matter of fact, we're going to respect and celebrate their differences. We all aren't going to always agree on everything. It's just not even normal for us to agree on everything. We're going to be different, but we're going to respect each other in our differences. And that is how we're going to help move this district forward. I'm going all the way to the back, gentlemen in the back.
What can we expect from you in increasing transparency in the system, and when will the check register be put online?
Well, one of the that's a question I have not considered, but I will. Make a note. It's being written down. One of the things, you can go online right now. We put out our high-level report on the SACS responses. I received a great email, and I shared it with the board members on Friday from the president of the DeKalb Realtors. And he thanked me because we sent it out. How many people we sent it out to, Ramona? Over 200. Just send it to him. And he said, you know what? He wrote me back. He said, Michael, thank you. He said, for over a year, we have been asking for some detailed information about how the district is responding to the SACS report. And finally, we got it. And I'm sharing it with my clients, and his clients are men and women who are trying to do what? Purchase or sell a house. We're going to be transparent. I don't have anything to hide. It's your money. It's not my money. And you have a right to access all the information. I'll come this way. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Erica, and I've got 2 kids at Vanderbilt and 2 more who will be there soon. First of all, I'd like to see you for
Oh, thank you.
it's Oda thinks you can think, and I give you that with purpose. And the reason I give you that with purpose is that you come in with a fresh set of eyes, and that is a blessing in this situation. And something that I would encourage you to do is use your strengths, and I actually wrote that in there, and use the strengths of the people around you. Something I'd like you to do is talk to Senator Millar and talk about instructional minutes and the best use of those, and talk about the kids who are in the Title I schools who go home to apartments afterwards, or go home and or go to a daycare that they're crammed in there and they can't move and they can't play, and those opportunities come in school. And I'd like you to try to get back to that, because the kids are suffering beyond the economic impact. They are suffering because of structure we created for them. And you have an opportunity now to think outside the box. And the last thing I'd like you to think about as you come into this is it's a possibility of doing something called an early release. I taught that, and it is an amazing tool that teachers can use, and I would hope that, and not only teachers but students, I would hope that you consider keeping that. And it may not be very popular amongst many people, but it's something you get used to. Teachers are short time to plan and to get together and to collaborate and discuss their students' needs. Every minute is so built in for them, but if you give them that 2-hour block, they can do amazing things with it. And you can take that 2-hour block for those other kids who maybe would get sent home, and you offer those intervention programs and the tutoring and the homework clubs, and for your gifted population, an enrichment program, school sports in elementary school. It's an amazing opportunity, and you've got it.
Well,
So
thank you.
grab this thing.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So, it's interesting. I had a conversation with my minister, and I asked him, I said, well, what is my greatest asset? I said, what can I really bring to the job? And he said, you got fresh eyes. And then he used the example. He said, you ever work on a crossword puzzle, and you get to a point in the puzzle where you just can't find that one piece, and you sit there for minutes and hours, and then your wife and your daughter walk in the room, and 2 minutes later you pick it up and say, there it is. Fresh eyes. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. And then I'll come to the right.
Kimberly Adams. I have 2 children in the school system. One that will be there next year. Taught in DeKalb County, and so have been here a long time.
Still teaching or taught?
I've taught.
Okay, all right.
I'm currently subbing.
Okay.
Questioning whether I want to come back full time.
We want you back. We want you back. So you got a personal invitation from the superintendent. We want you back. Okay.
I come in and out of a lot of school buildings with my own children and then subbing. Morale, I know, is low. It's hard. But like everybody else has attested, great. I mean, I'm always pleased to see that. I appreciated your statement about the hiring. My understanding is that there is a hiring freeze as long as we don't have a quorum board to allow for hiring. Are they allowed, you're allowed to still hire
To my understanding.
teachers?
Yeah,
Yes.
of course.
Okay, because I know that at board meetings, oftentimes, they're coming up and asking for the board's approval of the
No.
hiring. That's why I think there's been some confusion about what that hiring means.
It's amazing because I had senior staff to rewrite that memo to make sure it was perfectly clear that there was not a hiring freeze in the classroom, but for some reason, maybe it's a result of dysfunction, no matter how specific you say it, it's interpreted in a negative way. It comes back negative.
Well, that's why I wanted you to clarify.
Oh, yeah,
because I think
no.
that's part of why it's misunderstood. So,
Maybe I'll reissue the memo tomorrow morning.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna reissue this memo. It didn't work. It did not work properly.
I wanted to ask if you had seen the report from APS regarding balanced calendars,
I read this news coverage of it last week.
that
I've
they are
not read the
actually
report.
doing away with it from the 3 schools that still have
I
it.
saw that.
And one of the quotes that and there were many great quotes in that article, but the one that I wanted to highlight, there are more important factors in the calendar, and that is the quality of principal and the quality of teachers. And that has been proven time and time again in the report. And I was so dismayed when Dr. Atkinson really felt that balanced calendar in your own school was an answer to so many of our problems. Because I, like you, feel like there's so many problems we do have that really should be clear up first before we try to do something new that we're not really sure.
Let's get the fundamentals down. It's the blocking and the tackling.
So I want
Yeah,
you to really, and when APS is so close to us,
I understand.
we really ought to learn from what they've done. They've been doing this for a decade. We really need to learn from what they've done. To that end, my understanding is there will be no summer school in DeKalb County this year. And teachers are required to give the CRCT. They are then going to be getting those test scores back more quickly than ever. So they can find out who has failed. Those teachers are then supposed to reteach that material to those students, retest those students on the CRCT before the school year is over.
Let me go to the source. Dr. Howe, summer school.
There'll be summer school for extended year for special education, for English language learners. Title I schools will have summer programs. There'll be at the high school for the Viola and for the Georgia high school graduation test. So there are a variety of different summer school options.
But not for K through 6, regular learners?
There is not for elementary middle, as has been the configuration in the past.
And that's very disconcerting to parents and teachers who are saying, if I have to be able to get that material through to them in the classroom setting in this period of time, how in the world am I supposed to do it in 2 weeks in May when all the other children are still coming to school, and what am I supposed to be doing with all those other children? And I'm wondering, with my own children, who I feel sure will pass, what in the world are they going to be doing? That's really frustrating me.
All driven by budget issues.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we're at 8:20. We're gonna take 2 more questions, not including mine. I'm surprised. Well, I'm just honestly surprised that this has not come up, and that would be class size. It's my understanding that when we do have a board, they will have to do a budget. And they've always gone to the state and asked for a waiver to increase class size because of the budget issues. So I would just implore you again and again, don't let them do it. That wasn't really a question. Okay, at this point, 2 more questions, please. Thank you.
This lady to the right.
Give him one.
Hey, I'm Rebecca Chase Williams, the City Council member of the new city of Brookhaven. And we are just as concerned as all of the CAT is about our children. How have you opened a dialogue, or have you opened a dialogue with staff? And I think some of us were distressed to hear that there hadn't been a response from their assessment. And how confident are you that we won't lose our accreditation?
Totally confident we will not lose. Failure is not an option. We will not lose accreditation. During my first week, when I realized that we had not communicated with SAC, we called out to Advanced Ed. Dr. Elgard was traveling in California, out on the West Coast. I would have met with him my first week. So I met with him on Monday of my second week. And I committed to him that we would do whatever it takes to answer the concerns that have been raised and to respond in a positive way, to work with his technical assistant team, and to do whatever we needed to do to restore full accreditation to the district. That was my commitment to him. I asked him, it's interesting you use the word confident, and I said, Dr. Elgard, are you confident in me? He said, no. And I was a little taken aback. He said, well, confidence is based on experience. And he said, Michael, I've not worked with you before. But what he went on to say was, I do have faith that you can get this job done. And I have great hope for the DeKalb School District. And that is the context of the relationship that we've had. We are working, we just formed a high-level team of various individuals inside the district. We are working hard as we can, and we're going to continue to work to do everything we can. Look, we had a town hall meeting with the governor. We had 30 of our high school students were in a video town hall with Governor Deal. I guess it was Thursday. It was amazing. They were outstanding. I mean, they were brilliant young men and women. Great questions, very incisive, very, well thought through. But I was embarrassed for young men. Those kids showed us what we really look like. That these adults in positions of authority and influence had totally failed them. And it was painful to listen to the young man from Tucker High School who has college offers at Vanderbilt and Stanford ask the governor, will I be able to get a scholarship where the diploma is not fully accredited? And I told my staff, I told all the managers, it's embarrassment. And we have to accept full responsibility for it. The children did nothing wrong. This is adult mess, right? And adults are going to change it and fix it. And I am going to do personally, I've taken personal responsibility, along with all of you all, to make sure that we do not lose accreditation in this district. Personally.
Michael, as has the governor. As has the governor.
As has Governor Deal. And the governor has gone on record, am I right, Senator?
You are correct.
To support us in any way we can. I'm meeting on Thursday with Superintendent Barge and his top senior staff. We're going to begin to look at budget issues and construction issues and instruction issues. I'm meeting with his entire senior team. The Georgia School Boards Association has committed themselves to provide the training and technical assistance needed so that when we do get another board, we will not return to the mistakes that we made in the past. Everything that I'm reaching out to any and everyone who will help. I met on Thursday with Herb Garrett with the Georgia Superintendents Association. I reached out to Dr. Will Banks over in Gwinnett County, and I asked him to serve as a mentor. Whatever we need to do, I'm committed. Last question.
Hey.
Yes, and you were very patient.
Yeah, thank
How
you.
doing?
I appreciate that. I thought front row would give me a good question, but Bates Madison, serve on the Brookhaven City Council with Ms. Williamson.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much for being here tonight and answering questions. I appreciate it a lot. One of the things I think as a parent of a child in the DeKalb County school system, my boy goes to Ashford Park Elementary, is that I believe there are some organizational management issues that the school system has got to address. I know the school board had commissioned a study to be done by a consulting firm. I just want to know if that's something you've had a chance to look at. What sort of organizational management issues you think you will foresee the school system taking, and make sure that we don't go out and try and reinvent the wheel when we can look at best practices out there from school systems that are succeeding?
No, great question. And by the way, I recommended that we hire this firm, right? Because I recognize that the governance issues were not school board specific. It permeated the organization from top to bottom. Right now, they are reaching out, some of the investigators are talking, I think they set up an appointment with you, is that right? We are reaching out not just inside the district, but to stakeholders outside of the district to help, to allow them to help us to really look in the mirror and see how we can govern this district more effectively. One thing I want to go back to you that I saw immediately, it's the lack of regional authority and direction. We were trying to run a district with 99,000 students, 140 schools, 15,000 employees, one person, almost like the Wizard of Oz sitting behind a curtain. It cannot be done, and it cannot be done effectively, right? Especially when you have an extremely diverse population you're trying to serve. It just cannot be done. So one of the things we will do organizationally, which is your question, is that we are going to continue to decentralize command control closer to the point of delivery of the service. Fair enough?
Stacy, this isn't a question, but it's a statement. Can I do that? This last one. Because I want to talk, I should be able to talk for everybody in here, but Michael, here's the deal. You got 9 board members. 2 years you're going to have 7 board members. And what's happened in the last 10 years with our superintendents is that the board counts votes. And they look at you and they go, if you don't do it my way, I got 4 other people to vote you out, because that's our #1 responsibility. We hire and fire you. And I feel strongly that you aren't going to be worried about that. I feel strongly that you're not worried enough if you're going to get fired out, you're going to do what's right. And I think I can speak for everybody in this room that if you do that, then we got your back.
All right. Well, they can't call you. I want to say, I think Commissioner Lee May, thank you so much. I'll be at the DeKalb County Commissioners Agenda Setting meeting on Tuesday.
Our official board meeting.
Official board meeting. I'll be there to speak directly to the county commissioners, Commissioner Johnson, about what we're doing. I want to thank council and all. We had a great meeting earlier today, and your senator, who fights tooth and nail, day and night, to represent you all under the Gold Dome. Give him a hand. Your senator.
The DHA has been videotaping the meeting, so if you didn't take all the notes that you wanted to, you can tell your neighbors that we will have it online. DunwoodyGA.org is our website, and we will have it uploaded there as soon as we can of the whole meeting. Councilman Monty, you want to say something?
Thank you. Michael, on behalf of Dunwoody and truthfully North DeKalb, thank you so much for not listening to those 2 people who said, I just want you to know. But we welcome you here not only tonight, but the door to Dunwoody and truthfully the door to North DeKalb is always open. The concerns of the parents, the concerns of the community are the same here as they are on the south side, the east side, and the west side. And it's not only, it's primarily about education, quality education, but we also know that without quality education, everything else that we do as a community, from roads to intersections to zoning to all of those other things for quality of life, are second fiddle, and quality education comes first. Thank you so much for being here.
Okay, and that, our meeting is adjourned. Thank you guys all for coming. We hope it was worth your while.
All right, shake hands.